Eddie Hearn has just released a video talking about his biggest fights he has ever promoted. On the list was KSI Vs Logan Paul 2, and he said it was one of the best fights he has ever watched and experienced. Here's the clip.
November 9th, 2019, Staples Center, Los Angeles. KSI against Logan Paul 2. Can't believe I did it, but what an experience. The history of this one, I watched the first one. They told me they'd booked out Manchester Arena. It was going to go on pay-per-view around the world. I thought they must be mad. Who's going to watch that? The answer was everybody. I thought I better do the rematch. Dealing with these two was very, very difficult. Dealing with their representation, dealing with their lawyers, dealing with their egos, but two very, very clever guys. Two guys who knew how to create content, two guys who knew how to engage the audience, and somehow we managed to put them in a ring in front of about 13,000 people in Los Angeles. So they asked me to get involved in this fight. I said, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it properly. Proper training camps, no head guards, no big gloves. If you want to fight, we'll have a real fight. These guys went through a rigorous training camp in a proper ring, properly licensed. They made their professional debut that night in Los Angeles. In one corner, Logan Paul, absolutely useless. In another corner, KSI, absolutely useless. But the good news was, it was a 50-50 fight, which always means entertainment. And fair play to them, they put on a good fight that night. The challenges was, in this instance, it was like, who's bigger? You know, this guy, I've got more YouTube subscribers, I've got this, I did more hits on that. I don't care, guys. There's a lot of money on the table here. Stop being idiots, let's sit down and figure out a deal. So we did that, and to be fair to them, once we started, it was actually plain sailing, apart from the press conferences, which were probably the most cringe thing I've ever been involved with in my career. I'd stand up there, I'd say, what's your comment on this fight? And next thing he's saying about his mum, and his mum's this, and his mum's that, and I'm watching there, watching my credibility drain away. But it was a massive learning experience for me. The live press conference had about 6 or 7 million people watching a press conference. The pay-per-view buys around the world were huge, and it was a different kind of audience that started to engage with us. And even now, to this day, if I go and pick the kids up from the school, they know me from the KSI Logan Paul fight. I think it did about 2 million pay-per-view buys for this show. Incredible. Pay-per-view in the UK, pay-per-view in America, pay-per-view all around the world. Huge numbers. And as I said, these two, fantastic at engaging their audience. So when we talk about pay-per-view and streaming, obviously DAZN are our partner. We see that as the future. I think ultimately pay-per-view, particularly at the price point in the UK and the US, will end up dying out away from the mega fights and the mega names as well. The subscription model via a streaming partner, I think, is the future of the sport. There was the big debate around this fight. Is this good or bad for the sport of boxing? The thing is, it brought a whole new audience to the sport of boxing. I think ultimately good for the sport. Doesn't mean I'll do it again. Yeah, KSI the underdog in that fight. I'm not sure what to think about that. I'm not sure what to think about anything about this fight. I mean, Logan Paul looked the part. He was much bigger than KSI, but KSI probably had more boxing experience, but it was a complete coin flip that night. Fight night, the time these two got in the ring, I just didn't know what was going to happen. Everything was just absolutely crazy. The fight itself, KSI went down, he nearly got stopped, he controlled most of the fight, the bell went, I don't know what was going to happen. I can't remember the exact scorecards, but it was very, very close. KSI got the nod, the YouTube world went mad, bragging rights forever, both guys embraced, and we went home thinking, what have we just witnessed? But it was a lot of fun. Aftermath, someone just asked me the legacy of this fight. Please don't talk to me about legacy of this fight. Great fun, great memories, great experience. I was sitting next to Justin Bieber watching that fight. I've got one.
Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe and turn on the bell for more YouTube boxing content.